Whether you have scrap wood left over from a project like I did, or you want to create these Adirondacks from scratch, I want to share my experience with you of how I built these and what I learned in the process. I also want to share how we transformed the backyard and made it look more open and clear to the view that we have back there. Our backyard used to look tiny because the previous owners put a picket fence right smack in the middle of the property. So we have a family friend named Jeff, and Jeff is the one that really worked hard on removing the fence. And it was all across, you can't see very clearly right here. Let me see if I click. Okay, all across there on the back, and it kind of blocked the view. So I don't know if you can see from here, but there is like a little lake back there, and it blocked the lake just enough that it bothered me, especially because I'm short. Let me show you how the backyard has transformed. Whereas before, the picket fence was an eyesore and it divided the yard weirdly. Now there's nothing blocking the view and the yard looks so much larger and prettier. Since then, we have cleaned up more of the yard, removed some of the smaller pine trees, and we have a much better view of the water. Before I started this project, I had these cheap $20 chairs that you can buy at the big box stores, and they're actually pretty comfortable and they're perfect for me because I'm short, but they would fly all over the place if we had a high wind storm, and I kind of got tired of that. I wanted something more sturdy. I wanted something I could use with or without a cushion, and I even liked the fact that I could put a drink on the armrest. We actually did remove the 4x4 post, which was the hard part of removing the fence. And I do have a video to help you with that if you're interested. I'm so lucky that we were able to repurpose the fence because all of this wood is already outdoor treated. It has been 2 weeks. 1 week that we took off the fence completely. And so there is no fence and it looks great and I'm super happy. And then the other week that I've been working on repurposing that fence into these Adirondacks. On the Adirondacks, I made this with Anna White's design. I'm going to post the original link of where I got the design to make these Adirondacks, and they are so modern. I will also have the link of the plans in the description. This is actually the second build that I made based on her plans. I previously built an outdoor sofa for my covered porch and it turned out beautiful. I think both of these projects are beginner friendly. If you're a total newbie and you think to yourself, oh gosh, I wish I could make this, but I don't have all the tools and all the things, listen, you gotta start somewhere. The very first build that I did that was something significant was the outdoor sofa. It is a little bit easier than this project, but also you gotta start somewhere and use the tools you have and maybe start building one by one. The two tools as a newbie that really can be a game changer are the miter saw and the Craig jig. And while the Craig brand is the leader, you do not have to buy the fancy brands. Just get what you can afford and get going. I'm gonna post the video to the outdoor sofa as well, just in case that appeals to you. I do suggest that you follow Anna White's plans because they are so well put together. I don't really need to reinvent the wheel here, but I would like to share with you some of the tips that would help you, that would have helped me before you get started. The first step is to build your base. I spent quite a bit of time cutting everything and staining it. And after the first chair, I realized that it's easier to stain before you assemble. I originally thought I wanted them all black, but then I saw the two-tone color and I like that as well. I'm going to list both of these stains in the description below in case you like them. Every part of your base is made up of 2x4s. If you're going to make multiple chairs, which is very likely, I suggest that you do what I did, which is cut them in production. I knew that because I was making a total of 6 chairs, I had to multiply all quantities by 6. It sounds obvious to say keep all the same measurement pieces together so that when you build, you kind of build on an assembly line fashion. Because your pieces are going to be similar in size, it is so easy to confuse them. So the best way to do this is to put all the pieces together that measure the same thing, maybe write down the size on a sticky note and put it on there, and that will make it a lot easier when it's time to assemble. I didn't realize that all the black stain that I created were 2x4s, and this is a good idea if you want to have two tones. Do the 2x4s one color and do the seat and the back rest another color. Most of these black pieces that are 2x4s are going to be cut at 90-degree angles, except for two of them, which are at the bottom. These are called the stringers. So they're diagonal. They're diagonal because they are cut at 20 degrees. So you're going to set your miter saw at 20 degrees and just make sure you have those parallel. This is what it should look like, and right here you need to make another cut that you will measure with a square and cut with a circular saw, and then that little angle piece will be the one that goes on the ground. All right, Jeff, we're gonna split up.
Okay.
Say hi to the camera.
Hi.
He's gonna do the 20 degrees on the 33 and a quarter. Is that what it is? 33 and a quarter. 33. And I'm gonna do the jig part. That way we can make progress, and then we're gonna be assembling. Yay! You can definitely do this project on your own. You can use clamps to make sure everything's sturdy, but it is easier when you build the chair to actually work with someone else who can help you hold it steady. Here I am making Craig jig holes for all the pieces that need to be assembled together. I will say two things about this. One, it's a lot of holes. The more chairs that you make, the more holes. So this is not a really hard job, but it can be time consuming. Two, get a good Craig jig if you can. I have this starter basic one, as you see here, and I didn't know how much I would be using this tool, but I used it so darn much that pretty soon it's going to be worth it for me to get the upgraded version. It works, but it's more labor intensive, making sure that I put the clamp on right and that it aligns correctly. So I'm going to list both options in the description below in case you need one. If you don't want to pay for the upgraded version, maybe you can get the one that already comes with a clamp, or if you already have this, maybe getting the clamps that actually are meant for pocket holes would be pretty useful. At least it would be for me. The plan suggests using an impact driver. So on the left of this picture, you'll see that's an impact driver, and on the right, it's a regular drill. Jeff had a nice cordless one, but I had a corded one that was old school, that was a little bit wide and weird to get through all the little angles to put the pocket hole screws. If making pocket holes feels intimidating, I will list a couple of really good beginner videos below so that you can get through that hurdle. Another tip is when you build each chair, you should have a pair of mirrored pieces like this. And those stringers should be placed on the inside part of the chair. There's a couple of opportunities where you can make changes to the original plans. The seat is one of them. So I was able to use my picket fence as part of the seat and the back, and so I was able to adjust that. I had 4 in the seat and 4 in the back. If you're a really tall person, unlike me, you could actually also change the back boards, the supports, and make the back part a little bit longer. The last tip I have for you is to work on a level surface and use a level at all times. So you are going to be joining different pieces together, and the best way to ensure this is to work on a sturdy level surface. I had a plain card table, which wasn't my ideal, but I really didn't want to work off the floor, and I did have to use a level to make sure that I was staying level. Anna's plans are going to be great, and you really are going to understand this fully once you get started. But the whole idea of this video is that you get inspired to create something amazing. Trust me, I learned everything on my own by watching other YouTubers create. It's so amazing to say I made this Adirondack chairs out of the picket fence that was here when I bought the house, and I am happy with how everything turned out. And there's the hubby taking the chairs out to the back. If you like this video, I would love it if you give me a thumbs up as part of your support. And I would be thrilled to hear all about if you got inspired to create something for your backyard. Remember, guys, you can create bliss at home and in the garden. See you next time.